Bacalhau. Oh, whoops, here we go.
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP. Hey, Gumpers.
It's not meant to still be on there. We are bringing sexy bacalhau on this morning, putting the sex in SEXta Feira. Mrs. M, good morning to you. How lovely that you're here, starting the show with me this morning.
Good morning, my darling. How are you today?
Very well. Well, you know how I am, slightly stressed, because I think I heard you say to me about 327 times in the last 3 minutes, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. But we've sorted that out now, haven't we? And what did we do? We restarted, didn't we?
Yeah,
Turned
that's
it
what we
off.
did. We
Turned it
turned it
off.
off, had a pause.
Chill pill. Oh, it's amazing though, isn't it? How it can get to you. It really is. These little things.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for a moment there, it was. I don't know. It's funny, you know, isn't it?
Notes? Are you making
Yes,
notes?
I am actually. I was making
notes.
notes.
Spreadsheet as well.
Was it that obvious? Okay, I put my pen down.
Well done. Thank
no,
you.
You know how some like couples when they're together for a long time, one of them goes deaf in the ear that's closest to the side of their partner. Like, you
let's say the man is driving a lot of the time, he might go deaf in his left ear. On a British car and on a Portuguese car, he might go deaf in his right ear. Why is that?
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, we don't always want to listen to each other. And it was so funny because immediately before we had this sound issue, I'd been talking about listening deeply to each other. So it's kind of really funny that, you know, the sound issues between us just erupted straight away.
And who would you say in terms of the energetic game of chess that is always being played behind the scenes? Who made that move?
Me.
You messed with the sound equipment in another.
I wanted to believe at some level you didn't want to listen to me.
Oh my goodness!
Maybe I'm not good enough to listen to, or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, that's an interesting start to any live stream, isn't it? A little peek into the dynamics of the co-presenters, because often I think you are wondering, aren't you, when you look at Richard and Judy, you think, what's really going on there? And yes, interesting to note all of that, which we can extend to our dear friends.
I mean, we all have these games, don't we? We're all playing these games in our relationships, and in our work and in our families. We all have these shorthands with each other.
What? Okay. Well, I'm not sure I like the way this is going, but I'll go with it because I trust you.
Why don't we check in and see how everyone is anyway?
Well, this is what I'll tell you what this feels like to me. Let's say we are driving a British car. I am now sat on the right-hand side of the vehicle, looking out of the window, and you're my co-pilot on the left. So we could almost have Kevin and Sharon on one of those green strips across the top there, couldn't we? You remember that when people used to put their names on the windscreens of their cars? Okay. So let's see where this goes. It is Feel Good Friday. Sadly, we're not talking to Jenny B today because of a miscommunication, right? Maybe the theme of the day. And Jenny, as you know, is very busy at the moment. This is part of the reason why she's busy, of course.
Yeah.
Discovering my own superpower. So though she's not here in person today, and she will be back next month, my bad.
Beautiful book.
Yeah, we'll talk about her and her wonderful initiative. Of course, the expression now, the rubber hitting the road of the Rainbow Guardians and the program that our children have embarked on with her, which we're looking forward to and telling you a bit more about today. You could actually do some homework. Should we get everyone doing a bit of homework as well? Don't give it
Yeah,
all
it's
away.
no, absolutely not. But it's really thoughtful in the way she's laid it out. It's a
Of
beautiful,
course it
really
is.
beautiful looking
Yeah.
workbook.
Yes.
Definitely, the paper is just really good. The paper quality,
Yeah.
the ink that's been used. It's all just really. She's obviously somebody who really, when she puts her mind to something, really does a good job.
No question. And it's the same with the planners.
Absolutely,
Yeah, the planners. I've got my planners already for
very good quality.
2023. They are in our Gumpers store. Now, if you are a maker, creator, and you would like to be included in our Gumpers store, no charge for that. We just want to make sure that people get to know about what you do, because sometimes it's a little bit difficult for the indie creator producer to fight against the big marketing budgets of the bigger. It's just easier to go to the supermarket or go on Amazon, isn't it? Let's face it, in so
Yeah.
many ways, and it takes a little bit more of an effort to connect with the real makers of Portugal, whether they be Portuguese people or the incomers starting a new business here. But we're very keen to support you, as we are Jenny B, with her wonderful products that she's making. Well, and it's product and service with Jenny B. She's made the fantastic workbooks and the planners, and of course, you can connect with her as well in terms of all of the ways she reconnects people with nature. And we know people disappear to the Dingley Dell, don't they, in central Portugal, and are transformed by her view of the world and hanging out with her in the trees. Even if it's just a half an hour sleep in a yurt, which I found very transformational.
Yes, you did, didn't you?
Yes.
But this book is part of her course, which is being trialed at the moment, and every day she's sending a new video for us to work through as well, and is creating a really nice little support network. So I think watch this space is probably what we need to say about that.
What a legend. A 5-duck quack rating you'll have heard there from T-Duck this morning. On point, on form, with the dad joke, the deep thoughts, and of course the Portuguese saying of the day, which is pimenta. Oh, it's a hot one this morning. Pimenta nos olhos dos outros e refresco. Pepper on others' eyes is a refreshing drink. What?
I wouldn't have understood that were it not for the translation. Everything is funny as long as it happens to somebody else.
Schadenfreude in a Portuguese style, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is the pimenta saying here. It's always good bringing pepper into sayings, I think, and I wondered where that was going as well this morning. But that is so true, isn't it? I suppose that's our primal laughing at other people's misfortune until we remember, until our conscience kicks in. Right? Maybe I should go and help.
Yeah, exactly.
When I finish laughing. And we do have to say, don't we? I did those videos where you see dad saves. This reminds me of us laughing at one of our children.
That was so funny.
Yes. Our youngest got onto a chair and was keen. I think was he about to eat a little?
Yeah,
cupcake?
on the day of our eldest's birthday, we made these cupcakes and we put beautiful like a yogurt frosting on them, and our little son was a little distracted and a little bit sort of irritated in the way that 3-year-olds can suddenly go into something and it really is like the end of the world for them. So he's distracted and he gets back on his chair and he kind of loses his stability, and all of a sudden his head just falls straight into
A nice
a cupcake on the table, and both Carl and I went in to save him so he didn't fall and hit his head on the floor, but we couldn't save him from this cupcake kind of
perfect shot.
Yeah, it was a perfect shot. So he came up with like bits of frosting hanging off his cheek, and we just fell about laughing.
Yeah.
And bless us, or bless our beautiful daughter, who is like, we call her grandma, don't we? Because she's very mature and grown up for a 6-year-old. She just went straight off and got a fresh tea towel and a wet wipe and cleaned his cheek whilst we were just laughing.
I dare say there is a Portuguese saying for that as well, isn't it? The kindest person in the house can often be the youngest, or something like that, or nearly the youngest. So nice one, Sol. We've got a photo to show you as well in a few years' time. Okay, we got the Hugh Nunu. This is great. This could be two, like an Englishman and a Portuguese guy walk into a bar. Hugh and Nunu. So Hugh Nunu this morning is chili, potatoes, pepper, and tomatoes were all introduced to India by the Portuguese. What? That is a magnificent Who knew? And sign of the Portuguese impact on the world, isn't it? So chili, potatoes,
Wow.
pepper, and tomatoes. I mean, where would we be? We wouldn't have an aloo gobi without that, would we?
They're all the nightshade family, aren't they? Every one of those.
Ooh, so the Portuguese introduced the nightshade family into an otherwise peaceful India. And then garlic and onions came along, and that was it. Piri piri sauce was also invented by the Portuguese. Portugal, what are you like? Because we could have a feature.
Well, you know, my big question is,
What are you like?
if they invented and introduced piri piri sauce, and
Yeah.
you know, like, were trading and introducing chilies and peppers and stuff, why the heck aren't there any stronger flavors here? You know, like when you go and get your fried chicken from the shop, and they say, "Oh, do you want this sauce? It's very hot.
Yeah.
Really watch out." And we're always like laughing because it's so mild. Why the heck don't they have really strong hot sauces here? Is my big question for the day.
Probably just hardwired when they arrived in India. They probably said the same thing, and Portuguese explorers into India, and here's our frango. And do you want hot sauce to that? But be careful, it's really hot. And then it went on from there through the centuries of history that we now enjoy as Indian food. I love all this interplay and the interwoven history of food. Well, just culture generally, right? Of how human beings relate to each other, how they mix, how they cross-fertilize, and how they maintain some sense of identity as well. It's all very fascinating.
Yeah, it is, because I mean, you know, like, this show really has come out of you know, your interest in supporting people with their big moves, and it sometimes feels like it's something that we're all doing that's really new, but it's been going on for eons. You know, we're always moving around.
People have liked a big movement in the morning forever, haven't
they? Is that why you were sniggering?
Of course. Can I interest you in an eye test this morning?
Yes, of course.
Pick another fact, if you will. She's going to squeeze the toothpaste.
Okay.
You know this. You're not going to work through these, are you?
Oh, I was, but I'm not now. Fact 6, in Portugal. Oh dear, hang on. It's against the law to pee in the ocean. What?
Oh, we're in so much trouble immediately. I don't think I can get you for what you did in the past. You just don't do that. Don't do that, anyone.
Because
anymore.
you know those moments when you're at the beach and you've got like a 3-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 10-year-old all saying, "I want to go to the toilet. I want to go to the toilet," and we're just like, get in the ocean.
because unlike the swimming pool, there will be no purple cloud technology, and you'll probably get away with it. And when it's a bit cold in the water, it's quite a nice feeling for a few seconds.
It is, yeah.
So I've been told. Okay. There was a terrible moment when we feared this to be true. Struggling for jokes today, so you'll have to put up with this one-liner.
Oh dear.
John?
Oh yeah, because you guys haven't really gone for the visual dad joke meme, have you? Like you can. What happened there? What did you do?
No, that was bon dia, alegria, alegria. But what I meant to do was give it a bit of a rimming. There we go. Yes, we do have jokes. Thankfully, we've got double dad jokes. I'll do a few for you. Actually, I'll put you on the spot with the dad joke challenge this morning, because we missed some the other day. And I think I can find those, lay my hands on those, and try you. But what were you saying? We should have made a meme. I have been busy making memes.
No. What I'm saying is, you know, you don't have to do dad jokes sort of orally. You can do them visually.
Yeah, but that doesn't.
You know, every day you're just telling the dad jokes, but you could just put memes up.
Oh, shall we try that then? Let's see if we can break the boundaries of radio with this.
Yeah, that's not going to work so well, is it?
Well, there would just be a pause and you laughing or not laughing, and that will be it, which won't work very well.
That's not going to be very good, is it?
Good morning,
as you were.
Podcast listeners, the Cinderellas of the Good Morning Portugal movement. How are you this morning? And I think you're enjoying having the full-length podcast breakfast show over there on Spreaker and all the other notable, you're the podcasting platform of your choice, of course. Let's say a few good mornings, and we will come to those.
Yeah, of course.
It's about time. Ran that gauntlet. Sadly, Coach Turner's, I think, heading back to Blighty. We're losing him back to Blighty. Hola, bom dia, Gumpers. His Portuguese has come on a long way, hasn't it? Off to the airport shortly, so very early on parade. Sorry to steal your thunder, Duck. That's good. Quarter to 7, that was. Thank you, Portugal. You've been amazing. Thank you, Portugal, for a fabulous couple of weeks. We'll be back soon. Our Coach Turner, it's been so good to have you in the country. It's been that
Yeah. Safe
already
journey
brilliant.
back.
Yeah, bon voyage to you. And look, he's even got time to squeeze one in for us. Balance has been this week's theme. And after a great evening with some new friends, I remember why I do exercise. You know that a euphemism for a great evening with some new friends, right, in a hotel.
Yeah.
I think a little bit of Portuguese vinho consumed there, possibly. To be able to enjoy the good life, find your balance. Great, great advice this morning. That's what it's all about. Bon vivre, bon viverdom, and a little bit of taking care of yourself as well. Let's get that balance right, folks. Not a thing. Have a great trip and come back soon. So T-Duck not at all bothered about having his thunder stolen this morning, just leaving him simply duck. But bon dia, Carl and Gumpers from a fresh Belfast, dry, but went to -1 overnight. I abluted with the window open here, Deagle. It's kind of damp here, and it has been raining quite a lot, but still the temperatures of 9 degrees I'm seeing on my screen here. So yes, our commiserations to you at -1 overnight. 7 a.m. and it's just
I wondered where that ablutions comment was going.
right.
How does that exactly tie into Deagle's -1 overnight?
I was thinking how lucky I was to be performing a very natural human act with the window open this morning.
Yeah, we're all
It's
grateful
it's
for that, Carl.
it's the four Okay. Around 7 around 7 Do you need a moment? Are you okay?
I was also a little bit giggly because Deagle was asking about this
Your
mug.
unicorn cup. Okay. No,
Yeah,
hold on,
he's saying,
don't go there yet.
Carl,
Oh,
Mrs. M, look, he's dobbing
he
me in.
he is
Mrs. M's using
he is
not
class
using a
monitor.
GMP mug, and it looks like a T-Rex. It's
Oh, yeah.
actually a very sad looking.
He's seen better days, that unicorn, hasn't he?
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
really
he's
has.
still quite proud, it has to be said, but a
Yeah,
little bit chipped. Does the color change technology still work? The
I
reason
don't
we bought
know.
it. The whole novelty of that's worn off. It used to
Yeah,
be a color changing unicorn, Deagle. And what would have
yeah.
been better would have been to have rainbow droppings coming out of its backside that actually appear. You know, when you put a hot drink in and you can see
Yeah.
the rainbow colored plopping taking place. Don't spit your tea on the screen. No. So you're quite right. Well spotted. And who hasn't hit the like button or mic'd the slash button or whatever it is we say this morning, Deagle? I think imagine Deagle's keeping an eye. He's class monitor, keeping an eye
Yeah,
on
he
you.
is. I'm gonna have
He
to
is.
watch out for him.
Yes,
He's gonna be dobbing me in for things.
yes. It's been written down somewhere as well, I suspect too. But
Back
he
of
is.
the class.
He's back in above zero in Belfast and should hit close to double figures and actually a nice day for gardening outside job. So maybe, yes, you're off nights and in the garden this afternoon by the sound of it, Deagle. Thanks for being here this morning, mate. And we will have an after show party. Although we haven't got this quite right yet because some people are expecting a party and then experiencing the deepest of political complaints and comments about society. That ain't much of a party, is it? But also we do like a bit of that as well, hanging out and chatting. So we're not quite
Isn't it
sure.
more just a connection
It
rather than a
is. It is.
party?
Maybe I
You know,
missed
like you guys,
the
you
after
know,
show gathering.
yeah.
Okay. Well, after the show today, we'll have a gathering for anybody who wants to come along. The supporters, the Gumpers, people who contribute to the show, and not just in treasure terms, monetary way. All of you who are the regulars and would like to meet up with each other and see each other and connect. Give us a bit of feedback about the show after the show today at around 10, and we won't keep broadcasting it because last time I did that, Mrs. M came on was probably overly frank. And then was mortified. Was that going out live? All that stuff I said about.
I'm not going to be joining you again, I'll tell you.
No, okay. Watch out for that red light. Not the one that Sting sings about, but the red live light. If you are joining it, that's the clue. When it says live, it is going out to the internet and will be preserved there forever and ever for Elon
Yeah.
Musk to look at and judge you at some point in the future. So, Carl Munzenquo, what's this? Who does not like waiting for some SEXta Feira first thing in the morning? Absolutely. No one likes the waiting, Deagle. But we are doing it. We are bringing sexy bacalhau this morning, and we are endeavoring as Gumpers to put the sexes into SEXta Feira. And I was thinking about this because it's in the title of the show, and also I've got a little surprise for you, Mrs. M. We're broadcasting it onto your profile as well, just to see if that changes.
What?
Yeah. So you
I don't think that works. In fact, when I've done my own shows and put them onto my profile, are you talking about my YouTube channel or my
No,
Facebook?
I'm talking about your Facebook page.
It doesn't. The comments from Facebook don't link up for some reason.
Well, that might be a good thing with some of the weird people, mightn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so
but it creates a bit of frustration if people think they're in the chat room and nobody's listening to them. I shall just.
Oh, okay. Well, putting sexy into SEXta Feira made me think. I'm just, it was a little bit of clickbait, and it might even get us banned. Or I don't know what's going to happen. I've never put.
Yeah, just get me banned on Facebook. That's fine.
Well, I've never put sex in the title of the show, and I wonder what that would do for us. We try all these different things, don't we? Like algorithm tinkering, smashing the like button, miking the slash button, whatever it is we do it. And I don't think it makes any difference whatsoever. It doesn't appear to. And so I put sex in the title, wondering what might happen with that. But
you've not done it to my timeline. You've done it to my business page.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Is that a bad thing? Could be, couldn't it?
It doesn't really relate to what I do, but
okay. I'm gonna take that off now. And
no, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. I don't use it anyway.
I feel bad about that, so I'm taking it off there.
No, don't, because I don't do anything with it anyway. It's fine.
Okay, all right. Well, let's see if that does do anything, or if you have already been banned now from your own professional page. We'll see. But yeah, sexy. When it comes to the Gumpers being sexy, you might not necessarily put that immediately in the same sentence, but sexy means so many good and real organic things, doesn't it? And I think the Gumpers are sexy because of this friendliness and this authenticity and openness. I find those sexy characteristics, and not just having a great big bottom that fits into barely fits into a pair of leggings, which seems to be I'm seeing a lot of that at the moment. The cultural stereotypes of sexiness, the Kardashian style, stuff. What's that all about? And I think we are redefining sexy here. I'd like to think we are as Gumpers this morning. And I feel a terrible silence at the other end of the line, having said all of that. Is that because you're looking at comments, or you're trying to repair your reputation on Facebook?
Oh, no, I don't. I'm not worried about that. No, I was just wondering where it was going. And wondering if I could. There's a few things that's going on. I was just thinking, you were talking about taking a dump this morning, and I was thinking that you were
say that.
You're kind of you're a dumper.
Natural the Gumpers dumper. Okay, go on, carry on.
You're a dumper on first thing in the morning, like natural fresh air dumper. But then I was wondering about why you were talking about like big bottoms in leggings, and I was just going to suggest that maybe you stop wearing them.
Very good. Wow, Mrs. M. Cinco estrellas to you this morning. We got visual memes. You asked for visual memes, you get visual memes. Oh,
and people sending them. That's so good.
Yes, we have a couch potato here, which I think is utterly suitable for the cook, the food alchemist. Owen, very good. This is excellent, and a little bit awkward for the podcast listeners. So I will describe it for you. But I think my sink is clogged. Is the first one. People the world over will like.
Yeah.
The tap dancing in clogs as well there. I think my sink is clogged. Nice, a traditional Dutch clog, which looks to me like a really it was the prototype for the crock, really, wasn't it? You just need to get a drill out and drill a few holes in that, and you've got a wooden crock. But they
do you know what? I've never understood how people can wear those comfortably. They just don't look very comfortable at all.
The crocs or the clogs?
Both, you can really say. The clogs. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, it's a couch potato.
It is a couch potato. Very good, thank you. Although it looks like it's got a kind of more of a radishy type finish on the upholstery there. But there you go, a couch potato, everybody. You're welcome.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. This isn't going to be very good for the podcast listeners. So why don't we go back to
breaking broadcasting boundaries as usual.
There's so many comments coming in. So
let's get on with it then. Deep thought. Okay. I find that a duck's opinion of me is heavily influenced by whether or not I have bread. Mitch Hedberg. although not so much true in Portugal. Same with the bird seed. They don't come to the bird table. They seem to be able to get fed in lots of places. I've noticed it with the bread too. You chuck a bit of bread in a British pond, and there's a massive scrap as various pond life creatures come. Ducks, swans, geese come and have a big fight. Much more laid back in Portugal. Mitchell Lee Hedberg was an American stand-up comedian who said that, known for his surreal humor and deadpan delivery. Portuguese saying of the day we've done already, isn't it? So everything is funny as long as it happens to someone else. And the Hugh Nuno we did as well. We'll come back to the fresh dad jokes later, and I will try the old dad jokes on you. I mean, all dad jokes are old, I suppose, strictly speaking. What have you seen? What comments have you seen there, Mrs. M? Go on.
I'm just trying to work out how far back we need to go.
Well, I'm there. I'm at the back end at the moment. If we were a panto horse, I'm at the back end. Bom dia, Gumpers from James. Feliz sexta a todos. O que tem feito? Keeping his end up with the Portuguese there. We'll have more of a Portuguese discussion on Monday, James. Are you ready for that? Quotes that have inspired the slow. You see, you were saying question this. It's cue this, as in quotes that have inspired slow.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Of order. Okay. And this is in honor of Jenny B. Friday. And we're very sorry that Jenny is not here in person. She is here in spirit, and her wonderful program that she is, that our kids are involved in with her. We will get into that at some point. But cue this morning then. Do you want to do this? James Holly, one of his own.
We all have the power to influence others, not so much with our words, but with the love, positivity, appreciation, and gratitude we hold in our hearts.
It's so true, that, isn't it? And can I extend on that, James? This morning's ticker tape, if anyone bothers to read that, it's not the football results. It's Feel Good Friday this morning. So it's laid back and leisurely, like we like to be on a Friday, on Feel Good Friday. Are you feeling good? If so, why? If you're not feeling so good, can we help? I mean, I think that's how we should roll on a Feel Good Friday.
Yeah, definitely.
Yogi Berra quote of the day: 90% of all mental errors are in your head.
Yeah, absolutely.
But where are the other 10%? Sarah is saying.
Very good question.
Who also added a touch of class and glamour and entertainment to the after show party with a bit of material last Friday. That was fun. And Will was in there as well. It was like quite extreme, as you can imagine, with Will Thompson in there talking about what's wrong with the world at the moment. Bon dia from you, Sarah, then at 3:22. My goodness, somewhere near Oz in Kansas. That is amazing. So sorry, you were giggling at something you saw, I'm sure, there.
Oh, it's a dad joke. You've starred it, so I don't want to
I see.
Go there until the end.
Steal the thunder duck again. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
8:31, and I'm getting comments like this. Carl's on Portuguese time. The show is now advertised as between 8:31 and sometime after 10. Satisfied, Sarah? Bom fim de semana from a magical Misty Bairrada. Do you miss the Bairrada, Mrs. M? Not really, by the sound of it.
No. Yes, I do. No, I really did enjoy living there. And I really enjoyed how easy it was for us to get out and about. It was really easy. Like the first address we had, we could walk to the train station. It was an amazing line. And then the second address we had there, we could just walk straight into town. And then when we got back home, we had views of the countryside, which was extraordinarily beautiful. It was really lovely.
Yes. Morning, Jean, as well. Yeah, I love Korea. And I love
the location in between Aveiro and Coimbra. I mean, that's like super.
Well, I know what's going to happen when we do go back there, and when we have a drink with Andy and family over there. We will drive through that plane tree avenue in Korea, and that will
or in Anadia,
and that will stir feelings of great times we had there.
It feels like it's just still in my heart, really. But it's weird. We've moved around so much in the last 5 years. It almost feels like I just think it's already on my doorstep.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if we just turned up there tomorrow, and I'd feel completely at home.
Very good. Okay, and this just in, a couple of things just in, a little bit of excitement for you this morning. Garvo says, send me link. I have a nice OB location for you. It's been a lot of OB this morning, isn't
it?
What's
OB?
Outside broadcast.
Oh, outside broadcast. Okay.
Yeah. And so I've sent him the link. He's going to join us in just a minute. I don't know where he is, so that's exciting. And we're also having reports. Some people are having massive purple arrows, kind of pins outside their windows. So if you have a great big purple object, a purple tick outside your window this morning, that's because it's been added to the GuMPer map. And Andy's supremacy, talking of Bayram, Andy coming live to us from the magical, mystical Bayrada this morning, his supremacy on the GuMPer map may have been changed. Look, there are things right down in Lagos, which Andy definitely wouldn't have done. And that is the Algarve Portimao meetup there.
Can you expand it a little bit, please?
In what way?
Make it bigger.
Yeah, I get what you mean, but what like that?
I wanted to see like
where
it
we're
is
going
up north.
Where is Al Mansil? Because that's where we're heading on the 11th, hosting a panel with Serenity there. That's going to be fun. And a lot of people already have agreed to meet up afterwards as well, which is lovely. So we're going to get to see a few Gumpers there. Anna, lovely to get your message. Looking forward to seeing you there, Clive, and maybe wonderful Jim McDonald as well. I'm not seeing Al Mansil on there.
Yeah, where is it?
Okay, but that's where we'll be on the 11th. It'd be lovely to meet up. Now, I'm going back up to the top of the map. Is it big enough for you, Mrs. M?
Yeah, thank you. I don't have to squint now.
So
if you live around the Al Mansil area, I'd love to hear your recommendations on where we can stay.
Very good.
We're going to be looking for a nice Airbnb, and it'd be great to find one.
All right. We're going to Bayrada country now, where Andy's done a lot of his work. All sorts of pins and flags here.
And what's all the color coding for? Is that for different types of events?
Well, look at this. There is there's an event coming up on the 13th of November in red. That's a Magusto, San Martino. Not this one, but it's all about San Martino at the moment. Of course, St. Martin associated with the chestnuts. Restaurants as well in purple. They're points of interest are the purple ones, I believe. And we're going to keep going up north to see what's been added by John in Ponte Lima. Did he mention he's in and like?
He might have done once or twice.
There we go. So going up north of Portugal, not too far. Oh, is there a Spanish one as well? Is that allowed?
It looks like there's a Spanish one.
What? The Overlook. So yeah, he sent us some video from there, didn't he? The Overlook viewpoint, the Mirador de San Antonino there. So the first one in Spain as well. But look at all this lovely work that John's been doing for us. Andy, watch out! He's been busy up there, and this is another part of the country we need to go to soon as well, right?
Yeah.
Great job. Thank you so much, John, for adding to the GuMPer map. I need to put the link to the GuMPer map in the chat for anyone else who might want to do that. That is fast becoming a fabulous GuMPer resource. Thank you, everybody. And I think people are going to have some fun with that as well, aren't they? The first Australian pin in there as well. And Vancouver, maybe, Suze, as well. I think we're going to go live now to the Al Viagra, where we can be joined by the great Garvo. Good morning to you, sir.
Looks like a beautiful day there. How are you?
I'm fine. I've come up here into the hill behind me. They like to call it a mountain, but I'm not sure it is classed as a mountain. But it's a lovely place to come. And hopefully, when you do come up and see me, you'll come here, because this place behind me has got a lovely story.
Go on, mate.
Go on.
Well, if you want, I will tell you. Right.
Yes, we're sitting comfortably.
I stand to what's difficult because I've got the sun in my eyes and I can't see the screen. But this place here, right, here,
go on, John,
over your right shoulder.
Over my right shoulder, yes, is called. Let me get this right. Nossa Senhora the Colvish, which is, I think, Our Lady of the Caves. It's got two local stories, and the first one is that 3 children. It's a bit like the Fatima story. Yeah. 3 children were roaming this hill, and they found a cave. And in this cave was a little figurine of Our Lady of the, how she's come to know now, Our Lady of the Caves. So children, being children as they are, they decided to take it home with them and put it on the old mantel shelf. And we're quite proud about it. And then the next morning, it had gone. So they came back up here. And it was back in the cave again. What? They did this 3 times. They did this 3 times, and the same thing happened. And it's a little bit local legend, but it's supposed to be, the blessed figure. And they've still got it in there. They've still got this little figurine in there. It's a church, basically, a chapel that's built into a cave. It's a lovely place, it really is, because it sits about halfway up the mountain. Yeah. I'll show you the view in a minute. With an absolutely wonderful view. The other story, probably a bit further back in history, was there was a Templar knight who was imprisoned here by the Moors in that cave, and he spent many unhappy years chained and bound. And to keep his faith, he prayed every day that his release would come. And then suddenly one day, a figure appeared, presumably an angel, and set him free. So he was, his faith returned, but they've still got the chain as well that he was supposed to be.
Oh,
Have you tried
wow.
it on? Have you tried it on?
Well, not yet. That's maybe later.
Right.
But see, this place where I am now, for me, it ties a lot of things together, because this mountain, this hill range, it's full of like Neolithic settlements. There was even a castle on top. So even through prehistory and their beliefs and their religions, ties in very nicely with Christianity. It all fits, and that's why I love this place, because you walk around here and it's got a definite feel to it, and it's a place for me to come, like I have today, just to have a bit of a recharge and a bit of a soak it all in, because there's so much negativity around at the moment. I want to come up, I want to have a bit of peace, I want to have a bit of tranquility, and I want to feel good, and that's exactly what I'm doing at the moment.
Oh, good for you, mate. That's
Yeah,
what.
thank you so much.
Yes. Now, why is that, Gary? In a Tucker Carlson sort of way, and I know just mentioning his name is going to cause some negativity for some people. What do you think? I mean, has something changed? Why the high levels of negativity? Is it just where we put our attention and focus? What's going on in the world that makes you say that? Do you think?
Well, yeah, it's the doom and gloom. You can't get away from it. With the impending financial crisis, the world's going to crash into a big depression or whatever, and the big machine that pumps it out is on full production now, isn't it? So you can't really escape it. Okay. And there are ways around it. There's got to be, we've got to survive. Yeah. I think, like we were talking the other day, we've got to make major changes in the way we live. Yeah. And if that means being more local, growing your own food, like we do it here in Portugal, that's a big part of it. But the other thing is looking after each other and making sure we're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people forget that you can affect somebody's life just by going around to see if they're okay. Yeah. They might just need someone to talk to or whatever. And simple things. Let's remember that.
And you can affect people's lives by saying, "Do you want an OB shot from Alvazra this morning?"
Yes.
And I'm so glad we did. That is definitely what this is all about. And I think you're right. I guess you'd be sticking your head in the sand, wouldn't you, if you didn't face up, own up to the scenario you described in a worldly sense. But we're so much more than that, aren't we? Perhaps that's what we've forgotten, what we don't focus on enough. And that's why you've made the effort to get up there in the beautiful blue sunshine or blue skies and wonderful morning sunshine of Portugal at the Capella. Look, Antonio, this is so well known, I think, among Portuguese people, that Antonio F was able to spot it. The Capella de Nossa Senhora dos Covões.
That's the one.
Thank you, Antonio F. So instantly recognizable from the visual, Antonio, or from the story that Gary Garvo told there?
Probably both, I would think.
Yeah, and you might think as well, Garvo, I know it's only 9 o'clock, but you might think there would be 10 coaches arriving for everyone to see that. Looks pretty quiet. Is it often like that?
No, it is a very, very serene place. You very rarely get crowded here. It's just a little local place. Probably not too many people know about. However, I think it's the 1st. Is it the 1st of May? Somewhere around where their Mother's Day is. They have a massive picnic here from the local villages. They all come here and basically celebrate Mother's Day. And it's a big family occasion. There's
beautiful.
Lots of
That's beautiful.
It is beautiful. It's a celebration of, motherhood and everything that surrounds it, the future of what we are. Because without mothers, we're not going to do it, are we?
Yeah.
Exactly. Well said.
Yeah, and we do need fathers as well.
Well,
we can't.
maybe sooner or later science will overcome that, but I'm not quite sure.
It's interesting.
We were told that in the after show party by Sarah last week, that men are on the way out. It's going to take a few million years, so we don't have to worry just yet. But she was saying that's the general trend. I can't see. I just think it's one of those crazy ideas that scientists come up with, so-called researchers who get a nice big fat research budget. Don't get me started, but they come up with these theories, don't they? And then next thing you know, it's been dumbed down into a Daily Mail front page. Men to become extinct. That's this is the thing you're talking about, isn't it, Gary? Right. No,
I'm going
not
before
in
I
our
before I go. I'm just gonna.
Go,
You might know
go.
what to do. No. I don't. You're probably a busy man, but I'm gonna march you over here. And you're into the sun, remember? But this is the view that you get from where we're standing. And it's a bit misty still, but I don't know whether you can see.
Oh, that's lovely.
It is, isn't
And
it?
it's like a
Even
sweeping valley that overlooks where we are.
Mm,
bless you.
And you guys have to come here, right? When you
we'd
come up
love
to visit,
to.
I'm going to bring you here, and you will
Yeah.
feel the atmosphere that I'm talking about, because
Mm.
it's
Yeah.
so prevalent, and it's a lovely thing when Christianity and all the other things in the world sort of meet together. Because
Yeah.
I know here, for me, I'm not religious Christian or whatever, but there's definitely a spirituality about this place,
Of course.
which
Mhm.
exceeds any boundary of religion or whatever. It just feels right. It just
Yeah.
feels here.
Yeah. I'm
What
feeling
I noticed, Gary, is you know, in the way that you could blink and miss things in Portugal because they're so humble about what they've got. You know, they don't make a big old song and dance about things in the same way as we might do in the UK or in America. But like, as we're looking at that view behind you, I can see it's a church, but I have also seen bungalows that look a little bit similar. You know, like it's not over the top. You know, it just looks like it could be, you know, a fancy bungalow that you're driving past, you know, as you see it up there. It's really understated.
Absolutely.
But like you have to really look a couple of times to notice that that might be a church. But yeah, you know, I think Portugal is full of these amazing finds that just aren't really advertised or spoken about. But I can imagine that picnic being full, because our first trip to Fatima was chaotic, wasn't it? We just
Yeah.
happened to go to Fatima 2 days before their centennial celebration of what was the word for it? I
The
can't even
apparition of
think.
Our Lady. The apparition of Our Lady. So
Yeah.
the three children that Garva was talking about earlier on. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we turned up to Fatima like 3 days before, and the place was heaving. It was incredible. So I can imagine that does get busy at the
I
right
love-
time.
Every now and then, but not
Yeah.
consistently. I mean, if every time I've been up here, it's been like this really, except for obviously the picnic day.
Yeah.
But it's serene. It has a
Mm.
beautiful sereneness about it, and
And we're
it's
feeling it absolutely, and the birds
It's
on the
lovely hearing the birds.
it's so beautiful. Gary, thank you so much, and
Mm.
you've reminded me as well, because you spotted the whole Good Morning Portugal enterprise early on in the pandemic, where we were getting going, and it was community focused, and it might be, I don't know if you've had this thought, Garvo, but hopefully we can be, if the scenario you're describing does unfold, which in many ways we hope it doesn't,
Mm.
but we also practically think, well, it could well do, and there are a lot of signs for it already, aren't there? That this community does look after each other, and
Mm.
and is here for each other in this, because that's what we did, I think, in the pandemic. We kind of came
Mm.
together. You know, a lot of people in this community still haven't met each other, but feel like they know each other really well through their,
Mm.
you know, the occasional appearances and their names on the screen and so on. And then it's lovely when we actually meet up in person, which took a long time, but it eventually happened. It was great to see you and give you a hug earlier this week. And we can do the same sort of thing again, I think, if we have got some tough times coming, to check in with each other in the morning again. It'll be just like the old days in the pandemic. But, you know, I want it to be more than that. I really do. You know, I was saying when we opened up the show this morning, you're supporting independent traders and producers and sharing tips on, you talk about growing your own food and stuff. We're in such a great country for honoring and extending those traditions.
Yeah.
This is the place to share it, folks. If you have something that could be of some, you know, intrinsic, deep, organic benefit to people and the community, and actually the prototypes for me, I think, for how many of us really want to live, share it here. Monday, Lee McGrady is doing solid, great work every Monday evening, just showing people how to grow things, giving them a little bit of confidence and a few tips on the gardening Q&A. All of this could come together, and we'd be delighted if this were a focal point for it. That was Good Morning Portugal for us, wasn't it, Mrs. M, right from the get-go? Go on, Garvo, sorry.
I'm just going to say, so you hit the nail on the head here, right? And if anybody asks for information or advice about Portugal, one of the first things I'll say to them is don't get isolated, because if you come to a country where you don't understand the language and the culture, right, it could be a miserable existence if you don't,
Yeah.
have some sort of support network around you. And like when times get tough, the effect multiplies. So I think where this show has really scored, and as it's shown in the pandemic when we were all isolated and locked up for God knows how long, is that things can be a lot better when you start to talk and you share
Yeah.
ideas, and the evolution of things. Suddenly, it's like watching a rose bush bloom, and that's what's happened here, because you have a community of people who know who are no longer alone. They know they're not alone, and they can talk to each other and they get information, and that's a beautiful thing. It's and that's down to you guys, really.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure to hear that and consider that, and that remains our invitation as well. We get the gist, Mrs. M. Pointy there.
It was because of you, really.
Well,
I just provided a bit of calmness behind the scenes for you to be able to do this.
Well,
but you couldn't have done it without your community. Do you know, everywhere Carl goes, he sets up a community. When I first met him, he had a community called the Barefoot Broadcast, and he was bringing people together, interviewing people about spirituality, about things to keep calm and peaceful, and anything that could help people. And then he was volunteering for a disability charity, but not content to do that, he set up Access All Aerials, which became a huge success, training people with additional needs to run their own shows. I mean, it was phenomenal. And now he's created another one. I'm really not surprised. It's what you do, love.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
It's what you do. And you're really good at sort of engaging with people and encouraging them to join in the fun. It's like you're Jenny B is talking about superpowers.
Yeah,
I think that's your superpower.
well, bless you. And it's important I get on with it before we do become extinct as men. Adam's Curse is the name of that book. Should you want to seek it out, Garvo, by Brian Sykes, DNA archaeologist and ethnologist at Oxford. It's not a theory. Read his book. It must be a theory. Come on, Nom de Blue. It's got to be a theory. It's spelled out there. Don't reject it out of hand until you've read what he lays out. I am not going to be reading that this weekend, even if it is true. I don't think I do want to sort of kick back, open a beer, and read about my own extinction. Thank you very much. But
also, we're raising 2 boys, which
they've got time. They've got time.
Yeah, they've got time, but I don't want to focus on that just at the minute. But it's interesting. What I really like about what Gary was saying, like at the moment we're sort of in the thick of this kind of potential disaster. Obviously, there are things we can do, like turn the TV off and ignore lots of things that are perpetrating this. But actually, like, this has been going on for decades. The machine has been working all this time, and for lots of us, we've always been aware that we're just literally a month away from a complete financial collapse. It's just been advertised now so much, the precariousness of it all. I just suggest that when things get tough, we turn the TV off, we don't pick up the papers, because they're all in it to stir it up completely. Because if there wasn't something, if we weren't watching the news, if we weren't getting the newspapers, they'd all be out of business. So they've got to stir it up. Oh, it's a horrible mechanism.
There's a thought. Penny's here. Penny is leading the way on Monday with the Good Morning Portugal Wine Club, which is quaffing Vinho Verde, and Penny's leading the way. I'm so looking forward to that. I love a bit of fizz. And Penny, good morning to you. Looking forward to you joining us. And the wine you've chosen is the Atlantique, which we're struggling to source, I've got to say. But I just bring the best Vinho Verde you can find. Have you found it, Garvo?
No, I from what I can gather, and I've done a bit of research on it, that is a sort of label they're selling over there in the UK. I know which vineyard do it, but you can't actually find that exact one over here. Okay. I've looked at the constituents, and I've got something that's quite close to it, so it'll be a reasonably sort of comparison.
And grapes, what are we talking? Alvarinho in there?
Alvarinho and a whole bunch of other ones I can't pronounce.
Okay, so just look for Alvarinho then, everybody in the supermarket.
Lourinho
grape.
Lourinho, yeah, that's another one. Oh God, Carl, you put me on the spot now. I had written them down at home, but I can't remember what they are.
Do you remember what the vineyard was called?
Actually, I'm not gonna. This is going to cause controversy now. The vineyard,
You?
or where it's produced, is in France. It's not really a Portuguese. They use Portuguese grapes and then take them over the border, I think, and produce them there. I'm not sure, but I've looked down the actual place that produces it. It's in France.
Well,
Not just one border; they're taking it across 2 borders.
Well, no, I mean it's a good advertisement for Portuguese wine, isn't it? If the French are buying
that's true.
That is true. But I guess the Atlantique itself is a clue to its French origin, right?
Yeah,
so
you
there's
see the
Portuguese Vineyard Verde from France. Very interesting. Okay.
And sold in the UK.
And sold
in the UK.
That's just perfect.
It is, isn't it? But get any Vineyard Verde you can find, which will not be difficult in a Portuguese supermarket. There's loads of Vineyard Verdes, and there's, you can get a Vineyard Verde for probably €1.49 right up to 149, can't you? So you can push the boat out, or just join us on a budget if you wish to, just for trying Vineyard Verde for the first time. And mid-price, I mean, that blue, is it Garcia? That's a very famous one that seems to be the Matthias Rosé of the Vineyard Verde world. Yeah, that's a good start. You can find that in a lot of supermarkets as well.
Tell you what, Carl, you should speak to Vitor up the road about his wine that he keeps bringing us.
With a tiny little label on that you just can't see where it's from. Put it in the freezer. It's best enjoyed straight from that. That was delicious. Really, really good. And in many ways, I wish I'd saved one of them for Monday night. But we'll have a Vineyard Verde with you. And
we'll find out where he gets it from and distribute it.
Does the little label say, when you look at it, wine affects your eyesight?
I hope not, because he's a cab driver. That would just be really terrible if he's drinking wine that's messing up his eyesight.
Yes. Okay, another visual meme dad joke-ish sort of thing coming in here from James. Just told my suitcases when we aren't going on vacation this year. Now I'm dealing with emotional baggage. Very
dear.
Good. And that's a phrase, isn't it? Our kids are gamers, and there seems to be a little kind of audio meme that comes out. Emotional damage. We hear that, don't we, in the house?
Yeah.
Emotional damage. But thank you for that, James. Garvo, good of you to join. You don't have to go, but I'm so grateful to you. And there's a hilarious comment that's come in from. We've got a couple of questions for you actually before you go. Antonio F. I'm thinking there's a proud Portuguese man. All he has to do is see the famous chapel up there in Alvazra, and he knows he knows the name of it immediately. He replies, Carl, not visually, but by description and a Google search. Nice one, Antonio. Giving away your patriotic secrets there. You've got Google to fall back on. And for you, Garva, Owen, how is the land recovering after the fire? So can we have a fire and drought check from you? You sent us pictures earlier in the year of the reservoir near you that was looking very sad for itself. So drought and fire update, please, from you.
Well, once again, this hill mountain behind me is not only a weather break, stops the bulk of the weather coming in off the Atlantic, but this year it proved to be quite a good firewall as well, because most of the fires are behind that mountain. Right. They didn't really get into our valley, thank God, touch wood, whatever. But I drove down in the region just behind me, and it's amazing how nature suddenly comes back. I mean, there are green shoots coming out of old black sticks in the ground, and give it say 5 years, you probably never know there was anything went through there.
Yeah.
And thank the Lord, whoever, I'm in the right place, I thank the Lord. most of the people down there, they didn't suffer much in the way of property damage. Okay, there would be a few which were probably abandoned houses, but the fire service, the GuMPer, they did an incredible job. They really did. But yeah, I'm thankful that no lives were lost or whatever, or apart from obviously a few of the firefighters. But it could have been a lot worse. It really could have been a lot worse.
Yes. Yeah, and the drought situation?
I haven't been down to the Zada River much. I'm going to go down probably in the next few days, but it should have tanked up a bit by now, I think.
Yeah, you'd have thought so. You'd hope so after the last few days. Yeah.
No,
okay.
It's still a fair amount short of what it should be. So we'll have a bit more, please, if you don't mind.
Yes, Filomena, it's a bit of Filomena Friday as well, as it turns out. Hola, bom dia a todos e bom fim de semana. Amanhã vou ver os cavalos na Galgão.
So tomorrow we're going to go and see the horses
Yes, don't
And
scare them. Hoje começa a Feira de Carvalho e acaba no dia 3 de novembro. So one of Philomena's fantastic trips, this one to Gulgong to the horse festival, which we have shared before now. The amazing posters that they have. Even if you don't go, get the poster, a framed print of the wonderful Gulgong horse fair posters. They are beautiful. And not just down the road from you. Am I right in thinking, do you get to Miranda de Corvo from time to time, Garvo, from your part of Portugal?
To be honest, I haven't been there for a while. They've got a great market there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not too far away from me. It's probably about half an hour, if that.
And I thought I saw on the news that they're building a connection to Coimbra, to Miranda de Corvo, like a little metro line there. I'm not sure if I was mistaken, Salamina. Maybe you could put me right on that. I maybe just misunderstood what I was seeing on the TV. But some sort of public transit connection from Miranda de Corvo and your part of the valley there into Coimbra. Is that right? Anna Esteves is here as well. Anna Esteves, bon dia y bon fin de semana, with a lovely yellow heart from you. Thank you, Anna. We have noticed you joining us every morning this week, and we're very grateful to you.
yeah, we are. Thank you so much. Love, would you be able to swap around the pictures, because Fiona's watching on Facebook and she can't see Garvo's face. There we go.
We have to do this when Fiona joins us. Is it just Fiona whose screen is covered by the live button and so on? But anyway, we've done it now.
There you go, Fiona.
Coach Turner was lucky as we had a massive increase in weaver fish, so walking in the sand is pretty dangerous.
Oh,
3,500. What happens to? Are they the ones that swim up your willy, Gary?
Do you know what? When he was saying that he walked along the coast, I was thinking that's really dangerous. Put some shoes on, man. You know, I mean, that's the only time I think you should wear Crocs.
Weaver
is when
fish.
Is when you're walking along. There's some kind of bits of rock and stuff.
Wear Crocs in the water.
Come on, there's also like we get jellyfish. We get jellyfish on our beaches.
Okay,
you get a nasty old sting.
Let's get it into perspective, right? I imagine the kitchen is still far more dangerous than walking on the sand on the beach. But notwithstanding. Yeah,
but I mean, how many people walk for? How many kilometers did he do? Walking along
Coach
the
Turner,
beachfront.
about 2,000, won't it, before lunchtime? A bit like Deagle swimming.
I'll share a story we did, Con, right? I almost had the shortest honeymoon in history, because we got married in the Seychelles, and I went down the beach after the wedding. Yeah, typical Brum. I've never been anywhere. That's the first place abroad I'd ever been. White sand. Walked down the beach in my shorts, bare feet, and I come that close, treading on a stonefish.
Really?
And I asked one of the guys, local guys, oh man, I said, so lucky. He said, that's really, really poisonous. No, we haven't got anything to deal with it here, basically. You'd have died.
Seriously?
I'm just looking at weaver fish now. Thanks for that, Pete, for putting that in our chat. You can die. The first death recorded was actually off the coast of Dungeness in the UK. It's not far from where I grew up, where an angler suffered multiple stings. Then a teen dies from weaver fish sting while snorkeling in Spain. Another teen has died. Not in Portugal that I can see.
We need to find out what to do, don't we? In the case of a weaver fish sting, then.
Okay, this is interesting. A sting from this tiny fish can cause pain as bad as childbirth.
Yeesh. Okay. Okay. Well, let us know what to do with that. I guess the urinating on it, like you would a jellyfish, might not be the right. It might be fun, but it's not going to be the right thing to do necessarily in this case. Let's find out what the treatment is before the end of the show. Thank you, Pete, for bringing that to our attention. Pete joining Philomena. We are looking forward to.
You've got to the venom from the weaver fish is protein based, and so the best treatment is to cook the protein to destroy it. So soaking the affected area in hot water. Without scalding yourself.
You got to poach yourself.
I caught one when I was sea fishing on a boat, and they're very, very pretty fish. And being once again naive as you are, you pull it on the you think, and you go to grab it, and as soon as you go to grab it, all these spines pop out of its top fin.
What?
You think, well, that's not right, is it? And that's where the poison is, in the spines at the top.
So it turns into a scene from Alien when you've caught that bad boy, and the old gnarly captain says, "Don't be touching it, boy. Put it back." Yes, right, okay.
Well, everybody came to have a look because it was such a pretty fish, and they said, "Don't touch that, it's a weaver." And it was like,
Yes. Garvo steps back and falls off the boat. Yes,
Yeah.
put it down. Right. Good morning from Colin. Colin, you're going to come to San Martino to come and see Tudor at the Welsh
Tudor.
bar. Bit of the old.
very lovely, isn't he? Very great, isn't he?
Can I tell you the story then of Tudor? He was telling me it's very friendly here, you know. When I first started my cafe, there was a bloke walking past, and he says, everybody's walking past and saying, Tudor Bain to me, Tudor Bain. And I looked at her and I says, how the hell does he know my name? Tudor Bain.
I didn't know he came from Lancashire, though.
Yes, very good. Colin, do come to San Martino for World Cup and rugby coverage at Tudor's Welsh Bar. And we have a bit of Welsh whiskey. And he serves Guinness as well, cold Guinness in there. But sadly, you're suffering from a full-on cold or a bit of man flu there this morning. So really sorry to hear that, Colin. And yes, maybe a couple of weeks in bed and people bringing you chicken soup and that sort of thing and occasional whiskey is the right sort of treatment for that. Fantastic. Twerking Burka enjoyed the party. That's what goes on at our after party in about half an hour's time. Carl, if you are seeing lots of it, stop Googling it. What am I seeing? Oh, the bad news. Was that what we were talking about?
Maybe. I've just done a quick search on weaver fishes, or fish even, not fishes. And it seems to be something in the Albufeira
be careful,
kind of
folks.
area. So it's like the eastern coast of the Algarve is the area to watch out for. That's where most of the reports are coming from.
Pick up a fish if they saw one, wouldn't they? So
they would.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Philomena, look at Pete showing off, talking Portuguese to his Portuguese teacher there. Very good. Massa for you. And good morning, lovely peeps. Jacqueline CDM, hello, how are you? Great to see more points of interest on the GuMPer map. Tip, use the map's original point of interest, e.g. the restaurant's name, etc., and use that. Then it shows all Google's associated photos. Nice one by Randy.
That's a good tip.
A master tip there with the GuMPer map. I don't know if you've seen that, Gary. It'd be lovely to see the chapel on there. Jeff Leyland, good morning from the Cotswolds, playing with his donkeys over in the Cotswolds there. How you doing, Jeff? And lovely to have you here. Garvo, hi, Carl. Do you want to take an outside broadcast for Feel Good Friday? Yes, let's do it.
Who is it?
Maybe. Why would you be feeling a little hoarse? Which I'm sure is against the law, isn't it?
I have no idea. What is that in reference to?
The RSPCA will be watching you. Maybe that's something to do with Portuguese birds knowing that bread is horrible. Going back to feeding ducks. Bread's not the best thing for them, is it? Regarding pond birds scrambling for bread elsewhere. Thank you for that point of order there, James. When Louisa says Queenborough, I'm hearing Queenborough. A lot of people say Quimbra, don't they? I noticed the doc says Quimbra. That's just because he likes to say Quim lots during conversation. But Queenborough, yes. Queenborough? Queenborough. Okay, Sarah Nom de Plume. Give us a phonetic on that, if you will.
Do you know what? I've been downloading or I've been trying to get all of my transcripts from some of the podcasts that I've been doing, and the way I speak isn't very good, I don't think, because there's some howling errors coming up again and again and again. So
it's like hearing yourself being recorded, being transcribed. It's another whole new level, isn't it?
Well, I mean, even when I say my name, it gets completely messed up.
Yeah. Garvo, did you want to go and walk in peace now and enjoy it?
I will leave good people to the rest of your day. Wish you a wonderful and beautiful weekend, and take care of each other, and just love each other lots.
We will do. And to you too. Semana.
There you go. See you later, mate. Cosmo Small Piece has left the building. Thank you very much, Garvo. What a lovely fella. Fantastic. Waterfowl are mostly vegetarian, especially ducks and geese. Feed them lettuce and or other leafy greens. Bread can actually make them sick or kill them. Dear, oh dear. Yes, I am aware of this, and I just went back to my old programming on that. And don't watch ducks mating.
Why is that?
I think it's quite vigorous. Might be one word.
Yes, that's true, because we adopted a duck this year, and we didn't know if it's a boy duck or a girl duck, but the boys are really quite naughty with chickens.
Aggressive.
The way ducks and chickens mate are very different, and they can do a lot of. It's actually intrusive
The
the way the
things you
ducks
learn
do it.
here. The things you learn on the Good Morning.
In terms of chickens mating, it's very different.
Right. Okay.
But those ducks are quite those drakes really like to get it on.
I'm wondering if you could expand further, but I'm going to
No.
move on that. Enough said, possibly. Marcus, good morning to you.
They
And
insert themselves into the situation, put it that way, in a
yes.
way that chickens don't, and so they can really hurt a young hen.
Oh dear. Okay, sorry to hear that. I loved your description of an ideal hygge, cozy evening. The Danish word hygge describes a cozy quality that makes a person feel content and comfortable. John John must be up, late streaming. Again. Morning, John. And
Hi, John.
I missed the earlier part of that conversation, and so we're talking about coziness and comfort, which is I hope is the feeling we have this morning.
Funnily enough, comfort was one of our homeworks. You know,
Was it?
from Jenny's Rainbow Guardian program.
Okay, and what is the homework? Can you say more?
Yeah, but I mean, it goes to show you haven't even checked out the homework assignments. We're supposed to have a family conversation about comfort. Like, what is comfort? How do we know when we feel it?
I will make that a priority after the show.
And yeah, one of the bits of homework we all need to do as a family is to build a comfortable environment for ourselves. So I'm thinking a massive sofa cushion and blanket fort or something like that. But let the kids do it.
Yeah.
But let's talk about how we feel
you and
comfort
me.
in our bodies, how we feel comfort in ourselves, in our minds. It's all about comfort.
Very good. No, I'm feeling that as well. It's just like as when Garvo came on the screen, I felt an instant sense of peace. It is important, isn't
Yeah.
it, to have a quiet place in the home that might not have any screens around it or distractions. So well done, Jenny. Great. That's a lovely bit of homework. Looking forward to that. And yeah, thank you then, John, for that. I think this does expand as well, this particular conversational theme here this morning. Bob's in as well. Hey, Bob. I love that, Gary Austin. Yeah, thanks to Gary for being here this morning. I hope that place ends up on the map because people will want to go there.
Yeah.
Badison, bon dia. In Iceland, we like to have an evening of Huguligate, maybe. Huguligate. Kingangu, Kingangu. Which in effect is the same as hygge. A little bit of getting your hygge on there. Netflix and chill is one thing, but a bit of hygge in the evening sounds very good. Getting hygge, then jiggy possibly as well. Garvo, yes, we are.
We've done that.
Thank you, Owen, for that, and thank you for your meme
Mm.
this morning. We've got a little bit of catching up to do here. That's not what the midwife said. I don't know what that's in response to.
They're talking about the size of hands and all sorts of different things. There's a very rich and
the
active
man
seam of conversations going on.
It's the man cave coming up. They're training for that, aren't they? And yes, Mike, that slash button. Thank you very much, T-Duck, for that interjection there. Since it seems it's only me viewing on Facebook and not being able to see Garvo's face, I will endeavour to spot to YouTube. I don't know
Now, in a later comment, Fiona says she can't find the live on YouTube and doesn't know why. She's tried GMP and Expats Portugal. I've just done a search. So you just literally type in "Good Morning Portugal," and it comes straight up for me.
It's where most people are this morning who are watching, and where they will continue to watch later. I wonder.
If you hit the subscribe button and also the notification bell, you should get an email, which will be a bit of a faff, but it will come through to your email every morning. You can just click on that link then, and it will take you straight through. So I hope that's helpful.
There you go, Fiona. If not, we'll come round and sort it out for you a bit later on today.
You did actually have to sort that out for somebody who was having difficulty.
We've done that before now.
Yeah, we have.
The tram metro line between Coimbra and Miranda de Corvo isn't finished. So there is one, and the buses are doing that route. Metro Mondego. I think it is perhaps possibly the Metro Mondego line, isn't it? Which makes for searching. If you're looking for a place to live in Portugal and you fancy central Portugal, that's got to be a good thing, isn't it? Living somewhere along that line, Miranda de Corvo, if you want to use public transport, and you can pop into Coimbra at a whim. when they finished, you can anyway. Put the sting in hot water. Okay, so then cook the proteins. That's the thing to do, isn't it, with the Weaver fish? Thanks for letting us know about that. What was that we were saying about the news bringers down? Here's the Weaver fish update. Thank you for that. Okay, gave up trying to find the live on FB, came back here and to see Garvo. Yes, what a treat that was. Look at this.
Yeah, it really was.
That metro tram line goes from Coimbra to Serpinge at 26 kilometers long. That's good.
Wow, that sounds lovely.
It does sound good. We should just go and do that, shouldn't we, at some point? You could have a little trip into Coimbra, park up on the park and ride a little bit further out and see some lovely countryside in central Portugal. I'm so glad that I managed to see that on the telly, and that was a little bit of good news, I think, in among all the fear mongering that's going on. What's this? Nasty man cave. And hello to you, Lloyd. Thank you for joining this morning, Lloyd. Loving your morning pictures. Lloyd does a great service. If you're a friend of Lloyd's on Facebook, that should be a group, Friends of Lloyd. He just posts a lovely picture of him having his morning brew. It's really nice to see. Keep it up, Lloyd, and we'll see you soon. Kids' birthday parties and so on. So we'll see you soon, mate. And still, the tech help continuing for Fiona there. I think we're sorted now. Capricorn Chris, the man cavers are coming to the yard. They are bringing sexy bacalhau here. UK jazz funk, soul, and R&B world is rocked by the. Oh no, Noel McCoy's gone off the Real McCoy. Was that the band, the Real McCoy? And he famously didn't he sing the vocals on "Love the Life"? Ironically, there. So it's very sad to hear of Noel McCoy passing. Great soul singer, and UK as well. Rest in peace, Noel McCoy. Wow. And Chris saying, Pete saying, glad to see you're still alive, Chris. He must be busy, right? And his man cave buddies are pleased to see him. I hear the Brexit conversation continues over there on the man cave. Sorry to mention it, Chris. R.I.P. Noel, indeed. Yes, I must search out his tunes after the show and the wonderful legacy that he's left with us. We are 20-10. Mrs. M, we promised you dad jokes.
You did, didn't you?
And I'm going to go back a few days for these. Anything else? I'm talking a lot as usual. Anything you want to touch upon, Mrs. M, apart from me?
I can't really answer anything else now, can I? Because that should be my highest motivation, right? To connect with you.
Oh, okay. Yes, fair enough. Fair enough. And of course, I haven't put up the banner. Any questions for Mrs. M? What he doesn't tell you? Where have I put that?
Don't worry about that.
Have we exhausted that?
I think so.
Now?
Because I think everyone can rest assured that if there's something that you don't say, I'm gonna say it for you.
And they can just ask you, can't they? And
absolutely. I'm really transparent. So just ask me anything. I'm really happy to, and if I'm not comfortable to answer something, I'll actually say, I'm not comfortable.
Not going there.
Yeah. So it's all good.
Okay. All right. So a few dad jokes for you, and then a few more a bit later on. But the first crop or groan of dad jokes for you begins like this: the best time to add insult to injury is when you're signing somebody's cast.
Right, got it. Yeah.
Okay.
I was a bit slow there, wasn't I?
Right, got it. Yeah, that's not exactly a guffaw, is it?
No,
there are three kinds of people: those who can count and those who can't. My new car.
I've only just got that. That's terrible. What is wrong with me? I'm so slow today.
You'll like this one. I think this is your kind of level. It sounds a bit judgmental already, doesn't it?
Yeah.
However, and it connects with your complaints about the car seat heater malfunctioning. We seem to have a problem, don't we? With it? It's the season, isn't it, for the heated car seats, which we discovered quite by accident. Because I whenever I've sat on a car seat heater, I've thought I've urinated in my underpants.
It's a strange feeling, isn't it?
If you don't
know.
But
I've been quite smug about it because mine has been working and yours hasn't.
Mine hasn't. I have to generate my own heat. I have to generate my own heat in the driver's side. My new car has a button that says rear wiper, but I'm afraid to push it. No, okay. That is how mums should respond to dad jokes. So well done. Textbook stuff there. Okay. Mrs. M, you would have never have thought you'd have heard this, but I'm drying up right now at 4:10. Yeah.
Surely not.
I know what it is I've become so relaxed. I've taken my eye off the ball in this. I think we've reached peak Higgy that was being talked about
Oh,
earlier
the
on.
comfort.
I just feel very comfortable and easygoing and laid back, and I could just sit here right now, which isn't very entertaining, is it, or very, very helpful? But we have, we've touched upon, not literally, and quite rightly so, weaver fish this morning.
Yeah.
Garvo reminded us of our origins and our roots and how we might be able to help each other in the coming times. I have got a little bit of incoming from WhatsApp 913-590-303. We could go to our website and our news desk. And I want to thank. I'll do the leaderboard actually, because many people contribute to this show one way or another. We are the
Yeah.
Portugal loving community contributed show, and thanks to T Duck who switched me on to the approach of the Podfather, not Adam Curtis. What's he called? What is the Podfather? Adam Curry. He really created the genre and continues to make an amazing contribution to it. People contribute to this in quite the way he describes, which is in time, talent, and treasure. But I do want to say, for those who contribute in treasure, big shout out to you. We do have a leaderboard at the moment of people who've been supporting us, and there are various ways to do that on our membership levels at coffee.com/GMP, and I'll put that link in. But topping the leaderboard, let's work our way from 10. At 10, it's Jeff Leyland, Jean, Darren, Phil, Andy, KK and BB, James, Jeff, John and Pam, and T-Duck. All of you, thank you so much for being our Ko-fi supporters, our top Ko-fi supporters. Probably Coffee, in fact, isn't it? Coffee.com. Over, and Ko-fi is also, maybe it's Coffee as well. Fantastic Donald Byrd track. If you're looking for Noel McCoy music at the end of the show, check out Coffee by Donald Byrd as well, one of my favorites. But thank you all who contribute in whatever way you do, and just a special shout out there for everyone who's supporting us financially, because that helps as well, putting the food on the table and keeping the electric light bulb going. Coffee.com/GMP if you want to help with that as well. Pete likes that one. I think it's probably the rear wiper one, isn't it? That will have a
yeah.
I imagine on a Tesla he's actually got a rear wiping system as well, should he need it, which is Bluetooth enabled as well. Okay, Mrs. M, anything else from you this morning? Are you higgified as well now?
Yeah, I'm feeling a bit comfortable. That's interesting. Now there's a novel vlog approach, two people staring into the camera. Well, you know what? I'm not surprised by that, because when you like, in terms of intimacy, when you just like look at somebody and you just connect with them and you don't feel the need to say anything to them, something really magical happens. You start to sort of resonate together. You start to, once you get through that sort of discomfort, I totally understand that. I think it's a great idea. Though I don't think it's right for us to do now, unless you're feeling
I'm feeling
like you want to.
Maybe everybody here and the subsequent viewers, of course, that's what happens here. You know, there is this hardcore of Gumpers who come together in the morning, and who doesn't like to come together first thing in the morning? But then later on, as this filters out around the world, people are watching and tuning in and commenting, continuing to comment on YouTube. And maybe we are pushing the broadcasting boundaries here, and maybe we are having this just quiet moment together, which is a first. Some call it dead air. And others call it a transcendental heart-opening moment, which might be
what people probably don't realise from this show. This show is all about bringing people together and helping people feel at home in Portugal, but also really to feel at home wherever they are in the world. You know, we're mainly Carl, but you know, and with the help of all the Gumpers and the streamers and all that, all that jazz, you know, I think we're creating a network of feeling good. You know, it is all about feeling good, and so it's pretty upbeat most of the time, and it doesn't really sound like we do much real navel gazing and going deep inside. But actually, the rest of our day is spent in quite a bit of reflection and also reaction. You know, we've got 3 kids, obviously, and chickens and dogs and a really active life, but we're actually a lot calmer than we might seem.
And to answer your question, do you know what? I want to have a big fat rest this weekend.
Yeah.
let us know what your plans are as well. What are you up to, Andy? Which of the events that you're posting are you going to this weekend? I've also got some news from Owen, who this might be nice for Colin for Rugby Colin. I have made a video of a winter tonic. Unfortunately, the file is too large to send. But if you go over to Owen's Food Alchemist or Food Alchemy page, I'm sure you will find that. Owen, how about a link to that? Given that you can't send it to us for me to play, perhaps you can give us a link to that one. And Pete, what is this? Can you translate the Portuguese dad warning? O bacalhau que é alho. And I do want to find more ways of expanding on this meme. We're bringing sexy bacalhau. How many other ways?
For people that don't know what bacalhau is, are you gonna explain it?
Everyone knows what bacalhau is, don't they? I would have thought. Okay, but let's see how many ways you can wedge bacalhau into the conversation. That's one thing we could certainly do this weekend. And I've been pronouncing it shouldn't be higgy and jiggy. It should be. Now this sounds to me like the scent of a woman, doesn't it? Isn't this what Al Pacino says? Hiya! Are you punking me, son? Hiya! But I can't imagine that a cozy night in is said quite like that. Huga, possibly for the coziness, the Scandinavian sense of coziness, which I hope you all enjoy this weekend. Garvo, not content to appear on our screen, sending in a little bit of a message for us as well now. I stopped in the San Pedro hotel opposite the Summer Bar the other night, and was pleasantly surprised. It's a little dated, to be fair, but it was spotlessly clean, cozy, affordable, and amazing breaky as well. Well, thank you for that tip. The San Pedro.
I think that's a brekkie, not breaky.
Oh, an amazing brekkie. Oh, very nice. Okay.
We had I had a feeling of comfort yesterday. Hello, sleepyhead. You took me out for a really nice meal. I don't want you to play the video, but I had that feeling like it was my birthday. It was around Christmas time, that we were just relaxing and we just felt we had a really strong feeling of well-being yesterday, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
So I think we do need to rest this weekend. I mean, we went to 2 parties within 3 days, and also took a load of kids bowling, and it was a pretty busy weekend.
So a nice peaceful one to come then.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to doing very, very little.
Yeah, and the whatever it is, the Huga. I see it alive in Portugal. It's so laid back, slowly, but life carries on. Absolutely right. And I think we're radiating it right now, everybody. Thank you for being part of that. An explanation of the Portuguese dad joke then. Read the last 2 words of the joke and listen to which word it sounds like, Carl. O bacalhau quer alho, and that is explained by Antonio F. Thank you, Antonio. O bacalhau quer alho means cod wants garlic, but the idea is to say it Portuguese with some speed, and then you get a different sentence.
Which one do you get?
I know what they're getting at there, and maybe I could say it as a foreigner. I think when you say it really fast, like "O bacalhau caralho," it sounds a bit like caralho, which I may have upset a few people around Portugal by saying. Although Portuguese people seem to chuck that into every sentence where they possibly can. Certainly, the further up north you go. So thank you very much, Pete, for getting me to say that live on the Good Morning Portugal show. Oh, everyone's joining us now. We've got Keep Fit later, followed by a local Magusto dinner and party, and then more partying over the weekend. All right, folks. I think what we're going to do, we're just going to tail off there naturally. There's no point being here for the sake of it. But I will post the link to the after party, and we'll continue to hang out and have a bit of fun together off air for all of you regular contributors and people just want to say hello without the pressure of being on air. Let's do that. So that's going into the chat right now, and I'm going to go make myself a brew and be back available here for that. Might even just play a bit of music or something or a video until that time, and we'll go off air. And then you can join us. Yeah, what I'll do is we'll go off air, and you can join us as you wish at the after show party today. Okay, morning, Dougie. Thank you very much for getting us a copyright strike on YouTube yesterday. Cher had a song, I Believe in Love, Bacalhau. I don't quite get that one, Dougie. Maybe you need to join us after the show to explain that one. And by Randy, obviously, Cycling Sunday, weather permitting. Yes, that. And Man Cave, 10 p.m. tonight. Don't forget that. And Carl, rude, with Pete setting me up there. All right, folks.
I had a bit of a mishap with the language when we were living in Anadia, and I went to the market and I wanted to buy a load of leeks and onions and all sorts of different things. And the lady couldn't speak any English, and why should she? I mean, you know, she's Portuguese. But I was asking her if she could speak French, because a lot do in that area. And at that time, I didn't know what I was ordering. But anyway, she pointed at something and she said, "Are you Français?" And I thought she was saying, "Are you French?" And so I started reeling off in French and started really chatting with her, only to find out later that "Are you Français" is leeks in Portuguese. So I felt really like felt a bit silly, but never mind. The day is getting underway here, so I think I need to clear off.
Isn't it? It certainly is. So thank you very much for being here. Thank you for an amazing week on the Good Morning Portugal show. Love you, the GMP, the GuMPer community. Whether you join us live from 8:31 each morning, or whether you're up having a pee in the night and just switch on your mobile, it's great to have you all here. And we'll see you at the after show party. That link is in the chat. Do join us, and I'll be back after I've made a brew, and we'll hang out for a little bit. Rugby Colin's going to be groaning with his man flu in the after show chat room as well. So see you then. Ciao for now. Bon fin semana. Lots of love to you.
Bon fin semana.
Bye-bye.
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.